So I think my answer would be no, because I mean, Egyptian population is a big population. It's 100 million. So of course it's not that big compared to a lot of countries, but it is kind of like a huge, of course, population, and especially in Cairo. Like if you're talking about, I live in Cairo, so if you're talking about Cairo, we are a lot in Cairo. I don't know how much, but I think we're like 30 million. So what I can say about this question is no, because Cairo is a big city, and neighborhoods, there's a lot of, and to go from a neighborhood to a neighborhood, um, like it can take a lot of time. Like you can actually go from a neighborhood to a neighborhood for, like, you take 1 hour to go there if there's a little bit of a traffic. If it's not, it's like 45 minutes. So what I can say about this question is, for example, there's neighborhoods where, for example, downtown Cairo, where Tahrir Square is, it's a very live place where the Egyptian Museum is, and there's the American University in Egypt and stuff like that. And there's also, for example, a neighborhood called Zamalek, where there is like hotels and restaurants, and it's where, like, it's near the Nile, and a lot of tourists. For example, you won't see Syrians by, like, on first sight there, but in a new modern, like, buildings are happening now in the fifth statement, where we are 1 hour from downtown Cairo. You can kind of find a lot of the Syrian migration, and you can see them first sight, because you always find them in the streets, selling stuff, and you can find them, walking, and you can find them having their own restaurants even. And I think this is related to another question that I'm going to answer you. So yeah, so not from the first sight in some neighborhoods, but in other neighborhoods, yes, from first sight, I would say that, because I've been to, like, the fifth settlement, and I've seen them. Like, I could, like, not saying that in a bad way, but I could point them. Like, I could tell that from their accent, and then they're delicate, that they are Syrians, of course, not Egyptians. And somehow, of course, of course, the face featurings and stuff like that. Of course, as an Egyptian, or as a person who lives from the high middle class in Egypt, I haven't suffered, like, from anything, like, economically or finance, or or like something. But I was, like, suffered because it's like a same Arab country, and what's happening there is very, very terrible. People are getting killed and stuff like that. So of course I'm terrible. Like, I feel terrible for them, and I think, like, I feel I should do something as a person, a human, and also as, like, as an Arab, because they're also, like, an Arab country, and this could happen to me. But of course, like, something else, I don't, of course, suffer like the consequences, the real consequences. Yeah. Well, I don't think it affects them. It affects the Egyptian economy, like, really big, because they're doing small businesses and small restaurants and small stuff, and they're trying to find work. But I mean, Egyptian economy is already in a lot of crisis, and we don't have a lot of job opportunities for Egyptians, and we don't have, like, a lot of resources and stuff like that. So even Syrians can't find opportunities and stuff to do in Egypt. But I think that they're affecting the economy, and, like, they're just doing small business. So maybe, I don't know if they're hiring. What I know is, I feel that they're only doing it for themselves, like the Syrians. So it's not affecting it really in a bad way or a negative way. Like, they're just trying to find a job, and they're doing their own small businesses. And maybe it is good, because they're offering jobs, like not jobs, they're offering service for the Egyptians, but I don't think it's like making it better. But what I think is, but I think just having a business and serving the people, I mean, it affects the economy still, but I don't think it affected it in a neither not a positive or a negative way. I think it's neutral because they didn't come and do like businesses and big companies and big stuff. So they just did their own small things that mainly are food and restaurant, and they're just serving the people. Well, not really. I mean, there is a lot of problems in our economy, as I told you, and there's a lot of crisis going on, and like a lot of people can't find jobs, and a lot of people are struggling, and people are building their own business and startups. I mean, it's getting a little bit better, but there is a lot of like finance struggles and economic struggles in Egypt, and a lot of high prices, and there's a lot of poverty and stuff like that. So I don't think it has all the right facilities, but I think that it can always, it's also, of course, it's a welcome place for people to come and, to accept refugees, because we don't have any war going on. Like, I mean, I think Syrians they're better to come to Egypt than, for example, Lebanon, but Lebanon doesn't, but I mean, we don't have any war going on. We don't have anything happening. We have like, what can we say? We have stability, okay? So I don't think that why wouldn't we accept refugees, okay? So yeah, we are stable, we can accept refugees. It's better than for them to go to another country, to another Arab country where there is like problems happening and war and stuff like that. Better come to a country that's not like, doesn't have war and its stability, but we also have some finance, like economic crisis. But I think if we have the right facilities, like we can provide them with places to rent and start their own jobs. We can provide them with startups, like the paperwork is easy for them to, and that's why a lot of them have their own restaurants and their own like small businesses. So I think it's, yeah, we kind of have the right facilities to accept refugees to Egypt. Do you think that the government treats Syrians equal to Egyptian citizen? As a student in Egypt, in Cairo, high middle class, I don't know if I can answer this question really. I'm just being honest here. But I mean, I think it's okay because from my point of view, like they're accepting them in our country, so I think they are treating them as equal as we are, because they're not giving them something more or something less. They're like telling them, here you go, if you want to buy this piece of land, buy it. If you want to rent this piece of, like, not piece, if you want to rent this shop, then rent it. And yeah, treating them equally because we're accepting it, like they're accepted to our country, they're doing their job. And yes, of course, I know a couple of restaurants in Egypt that are like owned by Syrians, and they're the one who are managing them. They're basically, as I told you in the previous voice notes, they're mainly food restaurants, like restaurants that sell food, Syrian food. Like they do some of the traditional food and sell it in Egypt, and it's amazing. I think about them. They're incredible. Really, they're one of the best restaurants that are here in Egypt. Like you won't believe it. You have to come to Egypt. You won't believe like how you won't believe how professional they are, clean they are, how the service is amazing, the food is tasty, and it's not that pricey, and they make you feel. I'm just saying stuff here, man. True stuff. So they're amazing, very good, and so as I told you, I think amazing thing. I personally go to them and eat from them, and no matter, like, every time when I'm with my friends, we go to eat to them because we think about the money. They're cheap. cheap. We think about like the quality, they're amazing. We think about the service, it's incredible. We think about, like we're helping them, like, have a good job, and they're giving us like more than we are giving them. Like they're giving us good quality, amazing food, and they are very serious about their job and they're professionals. So I think really good things about them, and I mean, I think they made the Egyptian restaurants, jealous of them because of like the professionality of them, and they're doing awesome stuff. As I told you, Egyptian is also suffering from a lot of things, and Egyptian government. But if there is something they could do, is of course try not to, like, you know like try to help them opening small businesses like the restaurants, and some of them have also like clothes, but we haven't seen like something unique from them. But they a lot of them are having a lot of business in Egypt, and I think what they should do, like if there's something like stopping the business, which I think they should do with everyone, but I mean, they just take into consideration that they're refugees, and they're just trying to build a new home in Egypt for them. Or as I told you, like I just think that they should, if there is a burden that's happening because they're like like they're trying to open their small business or something, I don't think they should like treat them the same way as like putting a lot of rules on. They should think of them that they are like still refugees, and they're like they're trying to make a new home here in Egypt, and they just take it easy on them. Like that's the thing that Egyptian government should do, because sometimes they can be a little bit tough on people, on Egyptian especially, just on everyone who's trying to do something new in this country. So I think they should just let it, like, make it easy. And if there's like a tough paper or a tough something to do, like they should just make it easier for them, not in a illegal way, but in a legal way, that that they are refugees, and they need to, like, this is, they're already in a tough place already. So we should not make it harder on them. They're just trying to, and a lot of them are just very, very nice people that are just trying to live and cope with the Egyptian, people, and the Egyptian, society. So they just need to, like, treat them, as if they're, like, not with like something, a burden, but that they already have been through a lot, and they suffered, and they don't have a country now. Like whatever happened in Syria, like, it's terrible. So I think they should just treat them with like mercy, and that if they want a paper for like a business, they should make it easier for them and try their best to, like, help them. Of course, why not? I mean, those people are, at the end of the day, are humans, and they need a new home, or a home, and until their home is okay to go back. So I think we should do that, because, like, first of all, it's human, and everyone, like, all the countries should accept people. It's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. They're actually, as I told you, I don't have the statistics, and I don't have like every single thing, but still they're doing something to the government. They're still doing something to the Egyptian people. They're like helping us, and they're making good service for us, and they're showing us that they are a good example of people who work really hard. I swear, like, this is something that you will know from every single one in Egypt. Like, if you tell them the Syrians, they will tell you how amazing they are in their work, the business that they own. So I think they like represent a very, very like awesome and really, really fascinating example to Egyptians, that they should work hard. I think they're an incentive. Like, they are like, look at Syrians, they have already a lot of consequences, and they have a lot of like they have a lot of troubles and struggles, and they have war, and they left their countries, and they are being refugees, and they are and they are struggling already, but what are they doing? They're actually working hard, and they're making their own businesses in another country, and they're doing huge restaurants by their names, and they're doing a lot of shops and stuff like that. So I think it's a very inspiring and motivating thing for actually the people who live in Egypt and in other countries, that those people are an example that there's nothing as like there is no excuse for a human being to do something as much as the circumstances are bad or something. Even if it's as bad as a war, can you imagine a war? They are still doing amazing and great, and they're doing their own business and shops. So we should accept them and learn from them and give them hope and chance that they should do stuff, and they could help us to, they could help us to like learn from them how to own a restaurant or own a business, and they can actually make the Egyptians make a better economy for Egypt, and also with their help they make a better economy to Egypt. So yeah, I think we should, of course, the Egyptian government should continue to accept Syrian refugees, and more of them, and welcome them and tell them that this is their new home, and we learn a lot of we can learn a lot from them. Yeah, that's it.